Hello and welcome to today's video. Once more, I am going to talk about the Ukrainian Foreign Legion because despite the fact that I've done 3 videos on this subject already, I am clearly not making my point very well based on the comments in the comment section. Now, the thing is this: who can join? The Ukrainian government is putting out a number of advertisements looking for people, and I know that many people are really well-meaning and they want to help, but in most cases, judging by the comments on my videos, these people will not help. They will just be a hindrance. So the first thing to know is this: is that you must have 2 years military experience. It doesn't matter about other things. You may well be a crack shot and been living out in the wilderness for the last 10 years. You don't count. You may have been in the police force. You don't count. You may have got the highest score on Call of Duty or whatever it's called. That doesn't count. And you may have seen Rambo 3 times and know the words to the Panzerlied, but that also doesn't count. What you must have is experience. So if you haven't got it, then don't bother the Ukrainian authorities, because there are people also contacting me who have got experience and they can't get through. I am not surprised they can't get through. The Ukrainian diplomatic posts were not designed as recruiting officers for their military at all. They don't have the infrastructure to do that. They're doing everything on an ad hoc basis. And if people waste their time by saying things like this, that they reckon they could be a soldier, or when they've got no experience, then you're not helping, you're hindering. Now on Sky News, British TV news station, they showed 2 people, or sort of 2 groups of people, I think it was 3 people in total, going up to the Ukrainian embassy in London on the day after this was announced. There was one gentleman who was 60 years old, and he had been in the reserve army in the United Kingdom. He had medical experience. Well, as I understand, as of today, they haven't responded to him. There was another gentleman there, and he's 37 years old. He owns a gym. He looks really fit. You wouldn't want to start any fights with him. But he went, he probably didn't get a response. He turned up here in Poland at Medica, the border point, and he was told that he's no use to them. And of course he's no use if he's got no experience. The Ukrainian army isn't there to train foreigners. It's not like some kind of a professional training institute. There is a war on. And the fact that there's a war on brings me to my next point. Now, in a different video, I read to you the contract that you must sign. Now, the contract itself is badly worded, it's badly written. I don't know Ukrainian well enough to be able to actually to understand the ins and outs of it. But the English is very badly written, and it isn't really so much a legal contract as a declaration of faith, I think is a better way of putting it. Now, the thing is this: there's one point above all, and it says the following: the length of service is indeterminate. It's, or rather, it is determinate on the time that martial law will exist in Ukraine. That is to say, when Russia invaded, martial law was declared, and sometime in the future, martial law might be undeclared. So one obviously hopes it doesn't go on forever. In 1963, Syria declared martial law, and that went on to 2011, and then they had a war after it. Taiwan had martial law for, I think it was 36 years off the top of my head. I can't quite remember. So you hope it's not going to be like that. But the thing is this: people sort of writing and not understanding what is happening and think, oh well, just a minute, don't know if I want to sign that. I've got tickets for the cup final, and oh yeah, the dog's getting married, and oh, it's my wedding anniversary. Was it in June or July? Maybe it's August. I can't quite remember when wedding anniversary is, but I've got a wedding anniversary. So if you think like this, That's absolutely useless. This is a war. If you want to go away somewhere to chat up the local girls, why don't you go fruit picking in France or something like that? That's pretty physically demanding too. So do that. Don't bother the Ukrainian authorities with petty things like that. You're not prepared to do it, then don't do it. And no wonder people can't get through if people are just not being serious about it. Next point is pay. Well, if somebody's asking about the pay, then they shouldn't be doing it in the first place. This is voluntary work. Now, as I understand it, what people are paid is approximately $200 a day. It'll be a bit less than that now because the hryvnia, the Ukrainian currency, has fallen more. Not surprising in the circumstances, but it hasn't fallen as much as the Russian currency. And it's 450 approximately a month. No, not a day, a month. If you're in combat situations. Now, $450 isn't a lot. Now, I don't know how much unemployment benefit is now, not having had to claim it for some time. But I imagine that unemployment benefit is better. So if you're doing it for the money, you're better off joining the Russian army. They're employing mercenaries in Syria. They're paying them, according to the Wall Street Journal, I think it was New York, I can't remember who it was, according to some press, between $200 and $300 a day. So that is the next thing. No experience, don't bother them. Now, if you have got experience and you are prepared to sign the contract, then my personal request to you is please do it. And you're feeling you're fit enough. Now, the only reason I'm not doing it is because I would hold people back. At my age, I am no longer fit enough to do this. I would need a refresher course, I think, as well, and some of these techniques and what have you about soldiering. It's been such a long time. So I'm no use as well, effectively. What about what you can do? Now, look, I know you want to help, and I really appreciate that. When people write to me and thinking, well, I'm just finishing university or whatever, between school and university or whatever, I want to do something good. You want to do something good, there's plenty of things you can do to help out. Here in Poland, now, we've got, I think it's now around 1 million refugees. You don't see them because there's an excellent job of dispersing them. And there's so many people have opened up their own homes to taking refugees in. I've got several friends of mine with refugees. Got one friend, he's got 5 refugees in his home, and I think he only owns he's got 2 or 3 rooms or something. I mean, he's really doing a great job. There's a district of Warsaw, I don't know if this is serious or not, but a friend of mine reckoned that population had increased by 20%. This is by Ukrainian refugees, whatever, over the past, since the war started. So that's, you could do humanitarian work. You could come here, if you want to go somewhere, you can come here and do that. I mean, they need English speakers, I saw at the railway station. I mean, if you don't know Polish, but having said, maybe people here do speak enough English to get by. So that's one thing you can do. Other things you can do. This is the big thing you can do. Everybody can do this. They can turn the heating down. Every single drop of oil or gas which is bought from Putin is money going into their war chest. So turn the heating down. Take the bus to work. Walk. These are all things that you can do. And there's another thing you can do. You can save food. Don't buy more than you can eat. If there's 2 for the price of 1, make sure you have them one day and the second one the next day. That, I believe now that for the first time in many years, we could be on the brink of a food shortage. The food shortage, of course, will not affect us in the wealthy parts of the world, but it will affect those in places like North Africa and the Middle East. Countries that have to import grain from Russia, from Ukraine, but the facilities have now been so badly damaged by this Putin's imperialism, that these people could face severe problems. So that's one thing you very much can do: save food. So there, I believe very strongly in everything related to business, to professional life, that we must do what we know how to do. And so if you can do something to help these people, in another video I talked about things you can do humanity to use your trade skills. If you're a carpenter, if you know about concrete, if you know about, if you're an electrician, plumber, you will be very needed. You might even be needed now. There are humanitarian organisations. Now, for these skills, you need to approach the likes of, well, I don't know, well, the Red Cross for medical, but these other things. I'm sure there will be other organisations. I really have done a video on that, find out, but I don't know who. But these people are very much in need. They very much will be in need. What if you are a trained soldier and you can't get an answer from the Ukrainian embassy or consulate? Okay, there is a way. That's to come here and to Poland, and then you could get to Ukraine. You know, I've got a list of the places to go to, and you to report there. But you must have proof. You must be able to show that you have been in the military. Otherwise, it's absolutely not on. And now, I would appreciate it if anybody who had served in the army write down below what they think of what I had to say, because I want other people to, I want people with experience. At the moment it's just me, some bloke on the internet is walking beside a canal in Poland who's talking about this. If you know, you've got experience of these things but can't go on, just write down what you think. Please help me to get this point across, that being a soldier is a profession which takes time to learn. It's not something you can do by watching Rambo. So thanks very much if you got this far, and questions below. And if your question is, would they take me? I haven't got experience. The answer is no. Thanks for watching.